The sensible sociopath. Sometimes they say f*** and shit and cum dumpster and
This show is not for you.
You have to be a special kind of crazy.
Smart and creepy.
It's not offensive, it's not standoffish, none of that.
Counterculture, baby.
Oh, lady inclusion.
At what point do you stop considering it a clitoris?
Farts in a barn.
This show's gonna be great.
You all think I have cancer?
Beehive enthusiast community.
So he could fit in a corset and blow himself.
Non-willing sperm donor.
Why would you say that, Joe? You asshole. You're such an asshole. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 49 of the Sensible Sociopath podcast.
Woo!
Roma, our in-store producer and in-store on-camera personality guy.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
That's the best intro I've ever done.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
Getting some practice in.
Yeah, totally. I just sit here all week long practicing and practicing. I
What
choked.
What episode are we on?
Episode 49.
Episode 49. You're finally getting it down.
On a Good Friday. That's true. That's true. Should probably have gotten that down prior to this. Yeah, what do you
Technically, I haven't been on that long, though.
That's true.
So.
Yep, Roma, you're a greenhorn. So you're the first to go when the viral cutbacks. Actually, no, business is going pretty well so far.
I was going to say, this is my last paying gig.
It's true. So everyone donate the money and I'll give Roma a very small percentage. Yeah, so God, we're almost at episode 50. It's
crazy.
Crazy.
Super crazy.
And and if you're in your phone, you can change your setting to 1080p now. So you can just see how beautiful we actually are in person.
Maybe not.
All right. Well, if you're also listening on the podcast portion, just assume that we're very beautiful.
We're very, very attractive.
God, so goddamn beautiful. So we're still under quarantine lockdown, as you may have picked up from Roma's mention of, I guess, last paid gig at this point.
Oh, I was going to say, what the heck did I mention?
Well, I think you mentioned your poverty and that you've been on you've started your own OnlyFans page, which is where you're doing the sexiness stuff for people.
I heard, and I don't know who it was, but somebody was talking about how there's a political activist, and every time something happens, she just takes her clothes off and like sends pictures, like, on Instagram or something like that, and it's just like, that's like her like protest. Apparently she's very attractive.
I'm into it.
That's her claim to fame.
I support her completely.
So then people actually like take her seriously as to what she has to say for politics because she takes her clothes off.
Okay, I get the novelty of it.
Yeah, for sure.
However,
I mean, I can't blame her for what she's doing at all.
Yeah. However, it's got to be... There's so much pornography out there.
Right.
That why would you want to hear someone complaining about politics when they're naked? Unless that's a fetish thing, because it could be.
If you had the same politics and they were beautiful and they took their clothes off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just like speaking out against things. It's like supportive or...
Well, I think so. I think, for instance, she's a Bernie supporter
Okay.
and was upset when Bernie dropped out of the race.
All right.
And so but somebody was talking about her in general. I don't know if she took off her clothes because Bernie dropped out, but I guess that's kind of her shtick.
Yeah. Hey, good for her.
I mean, if I had the body, I would do it. Maybe. Probably not, but...
Yeah, I don't think I would. I mean, I do.
Right.
I've got some B cups.
I mean, there's been a lot of... Every time you hold that fucking political sign out front, it buck naked, I always turn back around and go back to where I came from.
The podcast is here. Put the sign down. Lower.
Oh, shit, Bernie dropped out again.
Yeah. Two elections in a row. I hope Bernie's dead by 2024. Yeah. I think it was Bernie's last run. I don't think he's...
Oh, he's in his
81?
I was gonna say, I feel like he's in his 80s.
He's like 78, 89, 81. I think he's 81. Which, just goes to show how You could put a doddering old demented man.
78.
78, okay.
I mean, if we're going to talk about doddering old demented men, can we talk about Joe Biden?
No, that's what I mean. You can
Okay.
put him out there and then,
Fuck.
fuck over Bernie twice.
So how long do you think it is before they replace him? And who do they replace him with? Because he cannot
Yeah.
run for president.
There's some, Cuomo.
They were talking about Cuomo.
Yeah. The New York, I mean, look, don't put anything past Hillary. She's been awful quiet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Could be the one you least suspect, which is also most suspected.
Right. I was going to say, I don't know if I least suspect her.
Yeah, but it would be funny to watch
Cuomo
Trump.
already said multiple times that he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was talking to, wait, so there's Chris Cuomo and
Fredo.
Fredo. Did you hear Fredo got the coronavirus?
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah. So apparently, I actually have a story on it.
Oh,
He
all
was
right.
talking about how he had lost 13 pounds
Well, that'll help him out in this.
during the stint of
Bathhouses?
coronavirus.
Get it?
Oh, Chris Cuomo.
Yeah,
So let's see here.
in 3 days. Hmm.
And this is an older story. This was
Yeah.
from the 3rd. Chris Cuomo lost 13 pounds in 3 days. Fellow CNN host Brooke Baldwin positive for coronavirus. Oh, that's what it was. So I pulled this story up a while ago, but one of the co-hosts had got tested positive for it too, but I haven't heard any feedback on that.
Of his show or of a different show?
CNN.
Not that it really matters, but
CNN.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
that they're on the same show or not. I don't
Yeah.
watch CNN.
I'm sure they have their studio area that
Yeah.
most of them in New York go to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would imagine as much. But he called it the beast. He said the beast comes at night.
Oh, how poetic.
Chris Cuomo said he lost a significant amount of weight in a short time span while battling the coronavirus. The CNN anchor, 49, who revealed he tested positive for COVID-19 on Tuesday, which is probably last week.
Yeah.
Let's say the 10th.
Yeah. Mhm.
Appeared on CNN's global town hall broadcast Thursday night from his basement to update on his health, which included him sharing his 13 pounds in 3-day loss.
I mean, I could use that.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset about the weight loss,
Yeah.
but he said, I'm okay. It came on suddenly yesterday afternoon, chills, aches, fevers. So this is the other chick. She said in a statement posted on Instagram. So she was talking about how she's okay, but yeah, I remember him saying, what has Cuomo found to help him feel better? Chicken soup, he shared. That has worked for me, I believe.
He is such a hack. It comes for you at night. And chicken soup. Oh, great. You're such a great broadcaster. Glad you
Yeah.
stayed up all night penning those.
Apparently he had a dream.
That one day all men would be created equal.
No, it was about his father or something.
Mhm.
And by the way, Sarah says hi and Margot says hi.
Oh, hello, Sarah and Margot. I'm glad you've survived through the coronavirus so far.
Yep, so far so good. He said that Chris Cuomo said that he had a dream, a hallucinatory dream, where he dreamt of, it was either his brother, who's the governor, or his father, who has passed, and I can't remember which, but they were in a tiara, tutu. Maybe it was on a tiara. They were in a tutu, dancing around and waving a magic wand, saying that they wish that they could wave this wand and make their
Sun
coronavirus
straight?
go away.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wish you didn't have such gay dreams.
Pretty much.
Pretty
much.
Well, bless him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked it when people were calling him Fredo and he was getting so mad. He was getting ready to throttle people. It's like, you know, this is on camera, right? You're like a TV personality. And,
That's the N word for Italians.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's not.
Yeah.
I've heard
I
some
got passed over.
I've heard some pretty bad slang for Italians, and that was not it.
I'm smart. Not dumb like everybody says. Who was that? Cavill, that actor.
I don't know.
Oh, he's the best. He was
What else has he been in?
So he was in, God, he's been in some great movies. Basically, he has some of the like some of the best movies ever made. He's been in Fredo, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what his name is first so I can look
I think
up.
it's Freido.
FR. Chris Cuomo shows up.
Yeah.
Frodo? No.
Fredo. Yeah, right there. Fredo.
Come on, Google. You're
So-
supposed to read my mind.
Yeah, it's Fredo, Godfather. Yeah.
Fredo, Godfather.
Yeah.
played
So. Oh, was it Mike Cavill? Yeah. But he was gonna marry Cazale.
John
Cazale.
Cazale?
Yeah, John
Cazale?
Cazale. Yeah. So he was gonna marry Meryl Streep at one point.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So he was
is
like
not
totally
attractive
legit.
man.
Look for his filmography because it is pretty goddamn good. Oh, the Trolls World Tour. So what's that? Dog Day Afternoon,
Never heard of it.
Godfather,
Godfather 2, The Conversation.
The American Way.
He only has 8 credits.
Yeah. Oh, The Deer Hunter. That was the other one. Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. But anyways, he was the lame son in The Godfather. So
Oh, look at your mom.
that's great. Yes. The Toxic Avenger, I believe that is.
Is that?
Yeah. So there was Sonny, there was Michael, and then there was Fredo. So Sonny was the hothead. He was played by James Caan.
Okay.
So he was like, good looking and strong and all these things. Michael was the soft spoken military guy. And then Fredo was like, they were all the quotes about Vegas, like he was banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time. That's Fredo that was banging cocktail waitresses. And basically he's just the screw up talking about how he got passed over because the mafia family, the Corleone family, mafia went to Michael rather than Fredo. So
Okay.
Fredo held the grudge against
Right.
Michael. And
Yep.
yeah. So anyways, being called Fredo, it's shitty because he's the stupid fuck up, weak brother that basically just takes advantage of all the money, but doesn't.
Yeah, he takes
Contribute.
advantage of all the clout, but he doesn't actually. Yeah.
He's incapable
Right.
of performing, like his brothers do. That Sonny was the violent one, Michael was the smart diplomatic one, and Fredo was the fuck prostitutes one,
Yeah.
which I identify with. I think that's cool.
I had I was dog sitting for a couple people, a friend of friends, and friends of a friend, and they had cable, and so I was watching The Godfather. I think I was watching 2 because I think they were just showing 1, but they show things on a loop.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm sitting there and just nothing better to do, and so I'm watching The Godfather, and I'm like, God, I forgot how good this movie is.
Yeah.
And so I went and I ordered the trilogy, and got it. Didn't end up watching it because a friend of mine had never seen any of the Godfathers, and
Okay.
so I was like, okay, I just bought the Godfathers. You need to watch this. So I give it to him to watch it. He moves away, and I never saw it. He moves away. It got lost in the moves. He had moved a couple times, and then it just disappeared. And I still haven't watched all 3 in one sitting, or at least within like a couple days span.
He's the Fredo of Friends.
The worst.
Yeah, it's really great. Godfather 2 is probably, other than Terminator and a few other sources, was the only really
Better
could
sequel.
be better than the original sequel. That's where Marlon Brando played Vito Corleone.
Yes. Yep.
And De Niro played young Vito. So when they would do
Yes.
flashbacks, De Niro played Vito, which was kind of cool, and it was
Yeah.
all in Italian and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, just really, really great movie.
I
A book. the book was by
I have no idea. Honestly, I didn't even know it was a book, but I'm not surprised.
Mario Puzo. Mario Puzo.
Oh, actually, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm really glad they didn't make a sequel of. I have two.
Mm-hmm.
Goodfellas
Yeah,
and Tombstone.
for sure.
Thank fucking God, because
Yes.
those movies are masterpieces.
Absolutely.
I actually just watched. So Goodfellas right now is on Netflix, and I just watched it recently, and it's
Yeah.
so fucking good. I mean, I've
Yes.
seen that movie dozens of times, and it never gets old.
It was one of the first movies that I was like, I like dude movies.
Yeah, absolutely. I love dude movies.
Yes.
I'd like. I take that insofar as like I'm not a big Rambo person per se,
I am.
because that's like a dude movie.
Super dude.
It's like
movie.
a man's man, but it's like a dude movie.
Yeah.
I like dude movies. My favorite movies. Have you seen Lawless?
Yes.
It's so
it,
fucking good. You
it
need
did
to watch
not
it
touch
again.
me as it touched
You need to watch it again because it
All
was
right.
really fucking good.
Roma, can I tell everyone our Rambo story?
We have a Rambo story?
Uh-huh.
I guess so, because I don't know what it is.
Okay. So Roma and I have known each other for a while.
A minute.
And I like to give gifts on Christmas. And so one time I was going through Walmart shopping for gifts, and I just happened to stop at the $5 bin, and they had Rambo First Blood 2, or First Blood 2, the second, the sequel to First Blood, Rambo 1.
Right. We get it.
So, as a joke, I bought it for you. And I gave it to you for Christmas without telling you I had a backup present for you. So you open it. And you're like, and I'm pretty sure I even have it. You're just like, you look at me like, what the fuck did you get me this for? I really wanted it, but it was worth
I vaguely remember this now that you're
Yes.
telling me.
Yes. It
That's
was
pretty funny.
probably my favorite gift I've given anyone.
Really?
Was giving you First Blood 2.
And my reaction wasn't like, oh, this is so great. This is what I've always wanted.
And it wasn't the good like Blu-ray, remastered, all that stuff. It was the $5 Walmart one. So it just has like a photoshopped like him with a gun, and he's just glistening, and then just like red letters on it. It was great.
I vaguely remember this, and I definitely don't remember my reaction,
Yeah.
but
The joke was for me.
okay.
Yeah.
But I wasn't all like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I
That was kind of it. You're like,
Why?
Yeah, oh, good. Just what I hoped.
That's pretty
Another
funny.
Christmas tradition.
Okay, so top dude movies. What's your favorite? Maybe top 3, because it's hard to pick one.
Yeah, I would say Goodfellas has to be in there. I don't know if Tarantino movies are too kind of. I think they're kind of genderless almost because
I love Tarantino movies. so
Yeah.
I haven't seen one that I disliked.
and I think that I don't know if I can just qualify them as strictly a dude movie.
Right.
Definitely Predator. Predator has to be one of
Really?
my all-time dude movies. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to watch it.
Oh yeah, I've got it. I think I have it too. I would say something like Alien, but then it's got Sigourney Weaver as the protagonist.
Yeah.
So you can't, she's one of the original feminist
Yeah.
heroes.
Mhm. So it can't be a dude movie, is what you're saying?
I wouldn't classify it as such,
Okay.
because
So then what about Terminator? The antagonist.
yeah, that's true. Sarah Connor, which she was a tough bitch. Terminator 2.
Super. Was
Yeah,
she?
and in
Is she in
Terminator
2?
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't seen these movies since the 80s, literally.
Yeah, so Terminator 1 was back like in the 80s, early 80s, when Schwarzenegger barely spoke any English.
Mm-hmm.
And really the movie was about her getting chased by Schwarzenegger to kill her.
Right.
And she ends up killing him in like a drill press. Or not a
Okay.
drill press, but like a metal
Some
press.
kind of machinery thing.
Yeah. and I think just his arm survived, and that's why it was in the thing in the Skynet. Like,
Do you remember, what is it called? Short Circuit?
yeah,
Dude,
Johnny Five.
I remember crying in them during that movie.
That was a good movie. I think there was Circuit 2 as well.
Yeah, there was.
Another one that.
Do you remember Batteries Not Included?
Wasn't that about some kind of flying little thingies?
Yeah, little flying robots, and it was like I feel like it was
It was like an ET almost. I
kind
get
of,
that.
yeah.
That
It had that
feeling.
feel to it. Yeah, I was gonna say
Like a
Steven Spielberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Jaws might be in that list.
Jaws is pretty good. Honestly, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in a really long time, but I know that it's definitely a classic, and everybody loves to quote it.
The one, the woman that was the Kittner boy. I don't want to see that Kittner boy spill out all over this dock.
I remember that.
So he was the kid that got eaten in the original Jaws. And when the mayor was telling him he wasn't going to shut down the beach, he's saying, I don't want you having some autopsy and, cutting that thing open and having that Kittner boy spill out all over this dock. The mother of the Kittner boy died of the coronavirus.
Whoa,
Yeah.
really?
Yep. She was like barely 90 years old.
Just recently, then,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the story of the black guy that? So there was a woman that texted him and was like, "Hey, are you coming over for dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, or something like that?" And he goes, "Oh, you've got the wrong number, but I'll be over." Something along those lines. That's not verbatim. And so anyway, she's like, "Yeah, come on over." And so him and his family ended up kind of being adopted by this family, and so they would go over there every year.
I think I did hear about that.
Well,
Yeah.
the woman that initially made the wrong text, his husband just died of the
Really?
coronavirus.
That's because that was a really heartwarming story.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think it was his family. I think it was just the kid because wasn't he like alone?
I
or...
saw pictures of, you might be right, but I definitely saw
Yeah.
pictures of him and like his girlfriend or wife.
Yeah, or
with-
maybe it was the first year that he was
Something like
alone or
that.
something, and then he kept it going. Or
Yeah.
that's really sad though.
because it had happened repeatedly over the
Yeah.
years. And so anyways, the white woman's husband just died of the coronavirus.
Yeah, she was some older lady.
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
Yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
70s, something like that.
Mhm.
Not old,
yeah, still sexy, but
you know, with a push-up bra.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. I'll see her on Tinder. I'll just have to I'll just have to broaden my range a little bit. God, there's a
At least
lot
she
of
knows how to
profiles.
cook. Unless he knew how to cook.
Yeah. Maybe
You'll
I'll
have
get
to
a
take
text
that
message.
gamble.
Yeah. Things are gonna get weird when he comes over. You know what I'm saying, Roma? Empty chair at the table.
Right.
Little
I don't know what that is.
banging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, she's playing the long game.
Right. The log game or the long game?
Long game. She's like licking a turkey leg. Sorry. Sorry, is that too soon? I apologize.
It might be too soon. I'm not sure.
It probably is. He's probably hasn't had his funeral yet. Oops.
Speaking of funerals, have you heard that they're digging mass graves in New York?
Really?
Yeah. So they've got
Those
I'm not-
blue states. It's starting to
it's-
happen.
let's see. Mass graves. That's not how you spell New York. And this is why I do that off camera.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Well, yeah. I mean, what can you? I think.
So, Hart Island. That's why I looked it up. Hart Island. Have you heard
Hmm.
of that? I don't know what that is, but
mhm.
so I think what they're doing is they are digging mass ditches for the homeless. So basically, if you don't claim somebody within X
Oh.
amount of time,
Yeah.
they're because they don't know what to do with the bodies.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, it's a little unceremonious, but
so right now, if you look at these pictures here, and you
Mhm.
can't see it from this, but I saw pictures of where they have 3 coffins deep.
Hmm.
So they're stacking 3 coffins on top of each other. And initially, the story was that they were going to use prison workers and pay them $6 an hour.
That's pretty good.
I mean, you're in prison, I get it, but dude, that is like some hard fucking work.
Hmm.
Why don't they have like I don't even know what you would call them, cat back hose
Oh,
or
I'm
whatever.
sure, you know.
I mean, we literally, if you look at these pictures, there's literally people there with shovels.
Well,
But then
and
they turned around and said that they weren't using prisoners, and I don't trust them.
yeah. I imagine they're also putting up, I think, 4 hospitals in New York right now, so that maybe that's where those you know, the backhoes and things are at.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can't imagine they would have people digging 18-foot deep, you know, holes by hand. I mean, I'm sure some of the work is being done like that. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously you have to move dirt around, and you can't
Right,
use
right,
a
right.
giant thing for all purposes.
I don't know, but it's pretty horrifying to think of. But you know, New York's taking the brunt of it. So, but the rest of us in general are doing okay.
Yeah. There's some other hot spots. I think Michigan, New Orleans, or Louisiana, L.A. I heard L.A. has like 70,000 homeless people. That's crazy to think about. That's like a good-sized town. Yeah.
I can't even.
I mean, there's but if you think about it, like I guess France just had 1,000 people die in one day.
We're around that for New York too.
Really, yeah. But I do think it's leveled off somewhat. But they do believe that that's more to do with social distancing than
Yes.
anything else.
Yep.
I have a few numbers here. So the coronavirus, there was at today's April 10th, so 500,000 confirmed cases, 18,000 deaths.
Is this in the States?
Yes, in the
Okay.
United States. 18,000 deaths. The initial minimum or kind of death range as far as the United States goes was 240,000 to 100,000. So somewhere
Was what they're projecting.
Yeah,
I heard that they just downed that though.
they did. So now it's 60,000
I was going to say I thought it was 60,000.
minimum. So, you know, 18,000 deaths overall, 60,000 deaths projected. But that's if people still continue to do the quarantine, the social distancing.
So I just heard a really good point made earlier today because a lot of people are like, it's just the flu, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, think about it. The flu has a vaccine every year.
Yeah.
And because it's like, oh, the flu kills more people than the coronavirus. Yeah, well, the flu has a vaccine. We don't have a vaccine.
No.
What would it do if we weren't social distancing, you know?
Yeah. It would probably be very similar. And I
Because
think
you hear that the flu kills more people than the coronavirus. So you think like, oh, well, that's not that bad. I mean, you don't hear about people dying of the flu all the time.
Mhm.
And then you're like, oh, yeah, wait. From what I heard, they said half the population has taken vaccines for the flu. I don't know what that percentage actually is. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Yeah.
you know,
I'm sure it's in the ballpark.
probably.
I mean, it's pushed very heavily because it is so deadly. And
Mhm.
because, you know, I think especially, you know, when you're a younger person, and I think most people that go, I'm not getting the vaccine are younger people.
Right.
Because you're healthy. You don't necessarily go to the doctor every flu season, or at least go to a primary care doctor. If you go to an urgent care, they say, hey, do you want to get your flu shot? And you go, no. And they go, all right, you know, see you soon.
Right.
And so I think that if you take the flu vaccine away and you take away Tamiflu, you take away basically all the things we've figured out about the flu. So how long have we had to, ever since we've known about microbiology and virology and all of these studies,
Virology, is that like
study of viruses.
Oh, I thought it was like Blue Chew.
Blue Chew? Yeah. Yes, virology. It's a study of boaters. So, if you take all of those things away, the flu's fucking scary. And that's where we are with this, is that it's just a scary, scary thing. because we don't have all the knowledge about it, just like with the chloroquine and antibiotics and zinc and all of these things, and what masks can we use, what type of, is it airborne versus droplet, all of those things that are half known, but they're still not, they're still coming out with new things. They're like, if you put a t-shirt over your face with a thing and a thing, then that seems to work.
Right.
It's like, yeah, things seem to work.
Right.
We don't have enough data to confirm those.
Right.
Because people were saying, washing your hands doesn't work, or this doesn't work, or that doesn't.
I definitely think washing your hands works to a certain extent.
If
if
since
somebody's
the Civil
coughing
War.
on your face,
Yeah, it doesn't really stop that. But
No.
if you could block those things with your
If
hands,
somebody
and
licked
then
their
wash
hand
them.
and then I picked my nose,
Yeah, there is the route. And actually, I heard about this thing. So, the Mythbusters, they did a test where they took somebody and somehow they mocked up a runny nose.
okay.
And what they did was they had some fluid coming out of this runny nose apparatus, and they had a dinner party.
Okay.
And at the end of the dinner party, they took a black light, and I didn't see this, but I heard
Oh,
it.
shit.
And they lit, and everyone except one person had it on
Oh,
their
shit.
face. Yep. So
That's fucking creepy.
throughout everything they were doing and touching and talking and all of that, every person had that dye or whatever on them.
Well, it just goes to show how easy it is to spread and things, because I mean, like, I'll as little as I'm going out in public, every time I touch something, I'm like, somebody else touched this.
Yeah.
So now I'm
Or the
touching
person
it.
who's handing it to me touched all the things everybody else touched, or
Well, yeah, exactly. Somebody touched
Yeah.
this and they touched something else and they touched something else. And, there's microscopic things. And, and then I get to my car and I sanitize my hands, but I'm touching my keys the whole time.
You've
and
already opened your door. You've already
Yeah.
your bags.
You
everything.
really can't fucking win. You can be more careful, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly there's ways to, look at surgeons and stuff. It's not like they're not washing their hands before surgery. I mean, they're wearing gloves or doing all these things, but
Yeah.
at a certain point, it's like you're upping your odds of not getting these things.
Sure. Yeah, and you're every time you wash your hands or sanitize, you're decreasing the chances that whatever you have on your hands is getting into you after that point. However, if you just touch something and start all over again,
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the probability, depending on where you are, if you're in a place like New York and it's like a 50-50 shot whether somebody has touched what you just touched. But what's funny is when I was talking last week about Home Depot, when I got to the cashier area and I was doing the paying through the wallet, the Apple Pay, something I forgot to mention is I tried to do the face scan, and because I had my mask on, it wouldn't work. So then I had to fucking take off my mask, scan my face, put my mask back on.
Face scan?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it does it for everything. So all my passwords are all face scan and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean it's fun, it's cool, it's novel.
yikes. I couldn't do that.
But and I had some other thing I wanted to talk about, which was Apple and Google are now creating some sort of app, or
Where
they're both
are
working
you?
on it.
Or we're in this together, or have you
Maybe.
heard that? So there's this thing. Oh, okay. I've heard a couple of things. There's
Uh-huh.
one thing called, if you look it up, it's called We Are With You, I think is what it's called. So, and I could be wrong. If you type in We Are With You,
Mm-hmm.
Google search will pop up and it'll show you your location.
Okay, yeah.
And then I also heard something else. I just forgot what it was.
Well, the one that I was going to bring up is they're working on some software that you can opt into.
I just remember what it was, but continue.
And I don't know what the end result of it is. If it will tell you if someone else with coronavirus is around you. I don't think that's the way it is, because why would you go, yeah, I've got coronavirus, and then go wandering around outside,
Right.
especially with an app that tells people, warns them,
Right.
But it said it was going to use Bluetooth technology, which I don't understand because Bluetooth doesn't have the range of like Wi-Fi
Yeah.
and LG, LTE,
That's true, yeah.
4G and 5G.
It's not like being, yeah, exactly.
But it will tell you if you've been in contact. I think it'll help track the virus more. So if somebody like opts in and you opt in and they get the virus, then they can like register that at this point I had it. And then it goes, oh, you were right next to this person.
Yikes.
Which, I mean, it's shitty and cool at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can appreciate the practicalities of it,
Yeah.
but as a libertarian, it's like,
Yeah.
yeesh.
Yeah, the whole Atlas Shrugged, like,
Dude.
yeah,
You
Brave
know,
New World.
1984.
Yes.
So I remember what it was. Somebody was saying that there, and I don't know if this is being implemented or not already, but that there is some type of software that if Google or Alexa or something like that could listen into you coughing, and if it sounds wet, like a wet cough,
Oh, shit.
it would send out an alert like this person could potentially have the coronavirus.
Oh. That sounds like something. No.
That's what I heard.
No.
I don't know.
I don't believe that because I believe it would just send off so many false alarms that it's.
I don't know.
What use would it be?
It sounds scary,
Unless they're going
though.
to kick your doors in and,
Right.
Yeah. Steve S is saying, let's see, that you have to worry about the mail and packages delivered to your home.
Every time I touch my mail, I'm like, eesh.
Really? Yeah.
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 No, I already feel really weird about the mail, especially if I order things. And I haven't been. Actually, I have not been ordering things from China. Have you seen those videos of, it was a Chinese factory worker, supposedly, rubbing face masks on his shoes?
No.
So they were supposedly, that's what this video shows, and it supposedly is, but it was a Chinese factory worker, and he was making face masks and taking them afterwards and rubbing them on his shoes and then packaging them.
Interesting.
Yeah. People are fucked up. I do not put it past anybody.
Yeah. I just wonder why. Why
Mental
that would be.
illness? I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably true. I wonder if it's like screw over his boss or which would be the government.
Yep.
In one way or another.
So I've been making face masks for my other job that I have, my night job, because this is my day job. This is my regular job that I get paid lots of money for.
Absolutely.
I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart.
Yeah.
And I've been producing face masks and sewing them, and it is a task. And I have sat there and thought, I'm so glad that I did not work in a factory in China.
Yeah.
Sewing fucking Nike shoes, because now, granted, A, I'm not adept at it. B, I don't have the best sewing equipment in the world, but it's just like, it is so tedious and monotonous, and I keep having issues with my machine, and it's just like, I whip out four and I'm like, I'm so done for the rest of my life. I never want to sew another mask again.
You're not completely fulfilled by the
Not really, no.
manning a sewing machine for hours and hours on end. Roma, are we gonna have to put up a net outside of your apartment to keep you from jumping out to your death?
Seriously. So we got Stephanie Brockway here, and she says some people test positive and have no symptoms. Bill Gates' vaccine will have a tracking device in it. And I actually heard that. I heard that. So, Bill Gates specifically said that, we need to depopulate the world.
Yeah.
And then
I
turned
think
around.
I've said that too, though.
Right.
Just to be fair.
But having said that, he's a billionaire or whatever he is.
I'm close.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
But not quite, but we're getting there.
I'm 100 air.
But he says we need to depopulate, and then turns around and says that he's going to create a vaccine for the coronavirus, and people are like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And I've heard rumors that he wanted to put microchips into the vaccines.
Well,
now I don't know how small of a microchip that needs to be. Is that even possible right now? I mean, that's kind of, that's like alien technology kind of shit.
Yeah, nanotechnology. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Like for microchips?
For microchips, I would imagine yes, but it's probably not something that they've released yet. So, if you remember that Harvard professor of chemistry that was caught for spying with China
Okay.
and like took some vials over there and they don't know what it was. He created or he was a part of, I guess, some project for nanowire, which is I think a billionth of the diameter of a human hair.
Wow.
So if you have that kind of a raw material, so whenever you're inventing something, you have to have the thing that precedes it. You know, like
Right.
you can't invent the light bulb without filament.
True.
You know, and so they have the filament.
So do you believe in aliens?
Yeah.
You do. Do you think that we've had them visit Earth?
Yes.
Do you think that the government has had some type of contact, like legit, not just like, oh, we saw a spacecraft in the sky, but like legitimate contact?
I think so. I think I've had a long-standing belief that we are, you know, if the Earth is 6,000 years old, which I believe. No, I'm just kidding. If it's like, you know, 7
It
billion
is Good
years
Friday,
older,
so continue.
exactly. Sorry, Jesus. I believe that the Bible is allegorical and it tells some sort of it's a what is it, like a simile or a metaphor or whatever.
Sure.
It's open to interpretation. It is not a literal book to me. To some people it is, and that's fine. However, there is, you know, how many cycles did it take for us to get to we, right? So if we look at things like, you know, the millions of years it took to become, you know, from an amoeba to a person, you know, dinosaurs, all that shit, whatever.
So you believe in Darwinism?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but I do also believe that maybe there's some kind of weird accelerations that can happen.
Okay.
You know, and where that comes from, I don't know. I don't have to explain this to you because I'm
Yeah.
a person that gets the thing. Not you, but I'm just saying anyone out there.
Right.
That I can have some whimsical parts of my life without you scrutinizing them, or you
Yeah.
can scrutinize them, and I can say, I don't know. I'm just a dude with a microphone, so believe whatever you want.
Right.
However, you know, how many cycles of Earth could we have gone through?
What do you mean by cycles of Earth?
So how many cycles of evolution could have occurred? Let's say that there is some sort of intelligent design that occurred with maybe an alien planting a seed, going, here, this will help, bloop. And then suddenly, like, some shit kicks off. I don't know.
Right.
You know, just throwing some DNA down there and some dirt, and suddenly you got salamanders and shit. I don't know. But, so what's to say that we haven't escaped this earth before? What's to say that human beings have not evolved to the point where we are right now?
Right.
Suddenly we go, we got to get the fuck out of here. There,
Right.
Elon Musk came through and said,
The Atlanteans, the Lumerians, that type of.
could be, you know, and that's the thing too, is I'm like, I don't know if however long ago that was, it all happened, but maybe, I don't know.
There's some weird Egyptian shit going on, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
And, you know, and then at what point were they involved and then get uninvolved?
Right.
You know, are we some kind of a farm for something that could occur?
Have you seen the hieroglyphs that look like Apache helicopters?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's these hieroglyphs, and if you look at them, they literally look like helicopters.
That's interesting. Do they have some like Creedence Clearwater Revival playing in the background while they fly around and strafe the gooks? Yeah, damn it.
Let's
My
see.
helicopter's broken.
So, okay, so you can see here in these pictures, they've got these like craft type things, and this one in particular right here,
Oh yeah.
you see that?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Aren't those weird?
Yeah, they look like the like
got, like-
Blackhawks or Apache helicopters or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, what the hell is that? It's got like fins on it and shit.
It's like the scene from Predator when they're coming in low and hot. Let's see.
A bunch of slap-jawed faggots around here. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah, well, and I think so yeah, if you but you're following what I'm saying, right? That like we could have gotten out of here, and then maybe in the million years it took us to evolve, they have evolved to space.
Sure.
So they went from a humanoid sort of form or a human form, or whatever was close to that, to this extraterrestrial. They don't have gravity, so they don't need as much physical strength. They don't have to communicate with their mouths, so they're like stuff has kind of involuted. Their facial features have changed. They're not breathing air like we are, so it's a very. I think it's very plausible. So I really do believe that we've been visited before, and I believe that they may be us from the past.
Kat says, have you seen Mission to Mars? I totally believe we came from aliens. Watch fabulous fungi humans eating them. When from wandering to higher thoughts. What? The movie Fabulous Fungi.
Went from wandering thoughts. Yeah. Yeah, and fungi is very interesting. Like how it works, how it behaves. I guess it's like this huge communication network that acts like nerves do.
I want to give a shout out to so Hank Evergreen is he's got a Instagram page. Brandon, I think it's Mao official, MOUW official.
Mhm.
Anyways, I talked to him a lot on Instagram. Really cool guy. We've actually talked about him coming on the show and doing a guest spot if he ever comes up this way.
Yeah, okay, good.
So yeah, super cool.
Well,
thanks. We're glad you came on and said hi.
Survive, Hank.
Yeah.
God damn it. Because we want to have guests on as soon as possible.
Yeah,
so.
as soon as they lift the quarantine.
Let's hope maybe they'll lift it by next Friday, episode 50.
That would be awesome.
We're hoping to get there. So what do you think, Roma? What do you think what are aliens? Are they of a different planet, or are they of our planet? Like, I kind of believe they're from our planet because we're the best planet.
I mean, I feel like, hold on. I feel like, wow, I can't type. He says he'll be here.
Yeah.
I've always kind of felt like they might be from another planet, but that they're interdimensional beings.
Okay.
Because I don't think that if you look at the vastness of space, that it's possible for them to travel as far as they travel and as rapidly as they travel without having some type of interdimensional black hole or something along those lines to do it. And if you listen to a lot of accounts, especially from military personnel,
Yeah.
they're there 1 second and gone the next.
For sure.
Or, they'll zip through space in patterns that are totally like, we just can't even fathom. Like, how could you A, move that fast, and B, turn on a dime like that?
Yeah. With Newtonian physics, because you've got momentum, and you can't just stop a heavy object. If you're using the typical laws of physics, acceleration and stopping and all of those things are they're very strict rules.
Stephanie Broccoli says it's hallucinations. Katrina says that sometimes I think it's future humans coming back to visit us. Is that what you think?
Well, past humans that are now. I guess we're thinking kind of similarly, but mine just started a long time ago.
Got it.
Mine
So you're
started
thinking,
way long ago.
You're thinking like of the Lumerians or the Atlanteans.
Of before an amoeba was on Earth.
Okay.
Before that.
I mean,
like the Earth was destroyed by nuclear war or something, and everything was killed, and it started over.
Margot
so basically,
says,
Genesis started again, but the people got the fuck out, and then Genesis started over again for 1 billion years, and those people come back and they're like, "Hey, what's up with that old house we used to live at? You think it's still there?
Yeah.
Let's go check."
Yeah, let's fix it up.
Yeah.
Margaret says there are billions of planets out there, or maybe it's billions of galaxies, unfathomable.
True. Yeah. And, there's, kind of with that Newtonian physics thing. So what they're thinking, because everyone's been trying to explain gravity. Nobody has a firm grasp of what gravity is. A lot of people speculate, obviously. There's theoretical physicists and all these people that are brilliant. However, I don't think anyone's nailed down what exactly gravity is. And, if gravity is a thing, then anti-gravity is a thing, right?
You would think, yeah.
If matter is a thing, then antimatter is a thing.
Okay.
Black holes, all those things. There's basically, if something exists, the opposite of that thing exists. Is kind of the way I like to think about it. So that is sort of what they're doing. I think a lot of those people that are theorizing with like what the military has seen, the way that things move and appear and do all these different things. And if they look at like a subatomic level, like down to like the tiniest like fathomable things that we can do using like particle accelerators and things, and watching the behavior of individual particles, Higgs bosons and all these. Anyways, physics at that point stops making sense, and so you have to start thinking about quantum physics and quantum theories and string theories and all those things. And so with the anti-gravity, that's what they think they're tapping into when they're moving like that.
Interesting.
So it's not necessarily, which I'm not saying this is correct versus like interdimensional, but that you could create gravity force and remove any sort of Newtonian physics from the equation of I'm moving from here to here, so that you're cutting, there's no air drag, there's no heat, none of that stuff exists, because you're actually like creating gravity and removing gravity at the same time.
Kind of like a slingshot, maybe?
Probably. And that you're able to you're able to basically create a vacuum, or, just where it's like.
I mean, wouldn't technically that be the whole idea of a black hole?
Basically, and where does it go, and how does it compress everything down to that size and stuff? That's like getting more dimensional and stuff. So who knows? Maybe you do create a black hole to get, to a different thing.
Like a
but
portal thing.
Yeah.
If you, something I've studied a lot over the years is the quote unquote paranormal, and they talk often comes up is portals. People have these portals that tend to be these gateways, and so you'll go to a certain place, a piece of property, a house, a neighborhood, whatever, and you'll get people that are supposedly psychic or sensitive in there, and they'll say you have a portal, and it's some type of gateway where I mean, for lack of a better term, the veil's thinner or whatever, and so things pass through.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you think, you would think maybe something along the lines of a highway. I mean, we don't have interstate travel down side roads, in a neighborhood, but there are these interstates, which are where things are traveling, and why could that not be something that's energetically happens? Look at rivers, look at, I mean, cave systems. I mean, there's certain areas in nature that are meant or end up being these routes.
Yeah.
So why couldn't that be something that's energetic, and maybe we think of it as energetic, but it actually isn't, that it's something way more physical than we can wrap our heads around,
Well, and we're built to perceive a certain reality. So, that's part of like string theory, is like all this, how many dimensions are there? How many parallels are there to our existence? If there's 11 dimensions or 14 dimensions or whatever the the thought of it is, and this is all through mathematics and physics and all these things, what's to say that it occupying the same space isn't a completely different world, but that is just at a different frequency or at a different whatever? And then the beings in that world, what is their perception? Can they perceive our world as a reality, or is it a whole different world?
I mean, there's always kind of this whole thought process of like, are we ghosts to ghosts?
Yeah. Yep.
I actually knew a couple who actually ended up passing in a car accident. But I used to hang out in a kind of the same circle that they hung out in. So I knew them. I wasn't close to them or anything. But one of them had told me a story one time that they were living in this house and it was haunted. Not a big deal. Just weird shit would happen. And one time, I think it was him. It was a couple. I think it was him. He said that he had walked into, like, I feel like they were living in the basement. Like it was like they were sharing a house with another couple. And he had walked into one of the areas, and when he walked in there, there were a bunch of people in the room, but the room wasn't set up like the room, and it was a party house, and they were partying in the room, and then they turned, and I don't know if it was everybody or a couple people or whatever, turned and looked at him and had this look of surprise on their face. Granted, he was obviously surprised, and then it all kind of melted away.
Crazy.
So they saw him seeing them, but they looked just as shocked as he was.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So it was like, is that a time glitch kind
Yeah.
of thing? You know, like what is that? And I mean, I had no reason to doubt them. It wasn't like we had been in this like tell me a ghost story mode. You know, it
Yeah.
it had come up naturally, and
And you do hear these stories from people that you're like, wow, these are people that I literally, that I trust very much, and then they end up, blowing your mind by telling you something, and you're like, okay, I know this person wouldn't lie.
I mean, in the
They don't have a
situation,
reason to.
there wasn't a reason to make up
yeah.
a story unless maybe they had
Yeah.
already told it, and it was like, ooh, I have this really great ghost story. But we
Yeah.
weren't like sitting around campfire telling ghost stories. It
Sure.
was just a situation that just wasn't. It wouldn't have been a situation where you were telling ghost stories because you were telling ghost stories.
Yeah. And that's super interesting. And there's this kind of thought that every possibility is happening all at once. So any like I was talking about the gravity, anti-gravity, there's the possibility that we are Joe Rogan in some universe, and that Joe
Sweet.
Rogan is us, and then which
I
would
can't
be
wait to get
pretty
that
nice.
check.
Yeah, totally. I want the Porsche.
Does he have a Porsche?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
and a Tesla and a Land Rover, Land Cruiser.
Yeah, he's into cars.
Yeah. Not as much as you would think, though. He doesn't know
He's
as
not
much
a-
as he.
Yeah, he's not a car
he
guy.
likes
but-
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like cars?
Yeah.
That
This
can
is
afford
true.
them.
This is true. But that's just an interesting thing. So if every possibility is happening all the time, then that's totally possible that there is another universe. And it's interesting because why isn't there more of that crossover? Do we not see it?
I think some people specifically are sensitive.
Yeah.
For instance, I don't think our family's particularly sensitive. I
Mm-hmm.
think you told me that you had a couple instances when you were a kid that were kind of creepy. But in general, I don't know of any of us that are particularly sensitive to that kind of thing. Whereas I know some people have supposedly had experiences all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere
And sometimes
they
it'll
go.
run in families, and so
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
is it something that maybe they're just I don't know, more flamboyant of families, maybe? Or is it that they have this perception of things, this extrasensory perception that cannot be defined?
Well, it's like some people have common sense, some people don't. Some people have street smart, some people don't. Some people are way more analytical. Men versus women, even, not to be sexist or anything, but like I know a lot of men that are, they're always on guard. They're always looking out for, is that a sketchy dude? What am I going to do if something happens? That kind of
kiss him,
thing.
what do I do?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think that way. I mean, I try to be aware of my surroundings, but in general, like, I don't think of like, okay, if somebody busts through here with a gun, what am I going to do? But I know people that think like that all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's to say that there aren't people that have just heightened senses about certain things, certain energy fields, whatever. I've never, and honestly, I can't say, and for somebody who's so into the paranormal and is hyper aware of that fact, I've never had a definitive paranormal experience.
Well, because you've been to a lot of paranormal hotspots or whatever, right? And or at least
I've been to a couple, and
yeah.
I've definitely have sought it out. I've
Because
watched.
you've been to Gettysburg, you've been to Salem, you've been to like up and down the East Coast kind of thing, looking at all
Yeah,
those
sure.
old
Yeah, and stayed in
13
really old
colonies.
hotels, and walked through plenty of cemeteries, and that played with Ouija boards, all that kind of thing. And I've just never had an experience, and I know that they exist, but I haven't had. I did live at a house for a while with a friend of mine. It was across the street from a cemetery, and she would claim to have experiences all the time. Not all the time, but frequently. Maybe she'd have one every couple months, and I mean. We were young. Maybe she was doing it for attention. I don't know. But in general, I'm not going to call her a liar to her face. So, but I didn't have those experiences, but I don't feel like it was because she was making them up. I feel like I'm just not as sensitive. And, maybe part of it's just blocking that kind of shit out,
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to know, I'd rather sleep through it than wake up and see a specter in the corner of my room,
Sure. And I think that's another thing is it a protective mechanism? Is it that we've grown up and that we can't, I don't, if you look at certain cultures, so like I think it's like Filipino cultures and certain Asian cultures are very into the paranormal. Like they don't mess with any of that stuff. I know
Yeah.
black people really freak out at ghost movies, which is really funny. They're like, oh shit, run out. Yeah. But it's just interesting how culturally people will be very different. And is that a form of superstition? Probably culturally, I would say, probably more so than less. But I wonder if they are more sensitive. So maybe it's because of that cultural component that you're more sensitive, because you are looking for those things in life that are like, nah, that's not right.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the majority, so like I watch a lot of ghost shows and stuff like that, and you'll see these really over the top, paranormal experiences, but it always comes from, middle class white people who are like, I had never believed in this kind of stuff before it happened. And then they have the most insane experience. And assuming that they're telling the truth, it's probably because it took that of an insane of experience for you to actually fucking notice, because you were too, I don't know, just well adjusted, too intelligent, too, whatever, to believe in that kind of, superstition.
Sure.
So, you're sitting there and you're hearing bumps in the night and you're like, it's just the plumbing. It's just the plumbing, until, you wake up and there's a demon at the foot of your bed and you're like, oh shit, maybe it's not just the plumbing,
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a culture that's expecting that kind of thing, they might notice it way before it ever gets to that point.
For sure. And any, cryptozoological things. So yeah, chupacabras and Bigfoot and all that stuff. They're all possibilities in this world, that there are things that we just don't understand. There are, evil things and unexplained things, not that like Bigfoot's evil, but like a chupacabra, attacks livestock or whatever it is. Could just be a coyote, who knows,
Yeah.
but
With mange.
yeah, that's true. Or that wolf that Steve was showing us, or was it you showing us that, the one in
The
Montana?
giant wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just interesting anomalies.
Yeah.
And what sort of lore does that lead to, but even just a giant, lion
Okay.
or a tiger or anything.
Since we're on the subject, do you remember telling me a story when you were a kid of seeing something? Do you remember this story?
Probably.
You should tell me the story that you think I'm talking about, because I don't want to lead you.
Was it on a chicken coop?
No.
Okay.
What's that story?
So I was, so we were back in Jersey, and so we grew up in South Jersey, and there was a very heavily
did?
wooded area.
Oh, shit.
I know. Well, it's for all our listeners. This could be the first episode they listen to.
Right.
Although they should listen to the entire catalog.
Listen to them all. They're this good.
Absolutely. So when I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I was young. I wasn't a tween at that point. I think I was probably 8, 10 years old. Something. This is back when you were a kid and you got to do whatever you wanted to do.
Sure.
So we were at our grandparents' house, and I had gone into the backwoods, and they had some old kind of lean-tos that they had some things parked. Like there was like a motorcycle parked back there, which I thought was a Harley, but it was a Honda. And so it was like, oh, so cool, but it was just some broken down Honda. But they had a chicken coop back there. And
I actually got attacked by a hen back there, or
Did you?
a rooster. It scratched my leg, that son of a bitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, literally, like, you ever seen chicken fights and they fucking like do this?
Cockfight, Roma. You
Yeah.
could say cockfight.
You ever seen cockfights and they
Yeah.
they jump up and do the scratchy thing?
Yeah.
He did that to me.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was scary.
That's awesome. Well, this story might be something to do with that, but I was walking back there, and I remember that there was a lot of there's a lot of trees, and they were all kind of long and slender, and the sun would come through as the sun was going down, and I looked up on the chicken coop, and the sun was just behind it. But there was something very large with wings sitting on top of the chicken coop. And I don't know. I think it was eating a chicken. And I think
Oh.
and I'm pretty sure that that's what it was. And I don't remember what. I just remember being terrified and being like, I don't remember if I ran or what happened. But yeah, I basically. The New Jersey Devil came from where we were, and that was what I thought it was.
Well, that's like because Grandpa used to walk along the wooded area and tell us stories of the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, and that was it. As I was I was 100% sure that's what it was. I'm aware that there are things like chicken hawks, which would be very convenient for one of those to be like. But it was almost like, do you remember in the...
Kat said, was it a shapeshifter? Or
I don't know.
skinwalker, she says.
Oh, I'm a big fan of the Wendigo. I carved a Wendigo Halloween jack-o'-lantern couple of years back.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, it's it's an elk cannibal man.
The Wendigo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, hello, Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe's here. He
Yeah.
says, Jersey Devil ain't no match for Steve.
Damn right, I shit my pants. And it sure left me alone. So I don't remember whether it killed the chicken or not. I feel like it did. And when I ended up leaving, it was, Exorcist. So if you remember during the Exorcist, do you remember when they would like cut back to the old priest and it would show that like
Yes.
thing with its
Yeah, it was,
wings out? It was a stone.
Yes. Hold on. I know was it Zulu?
Something. Yeah.
It was Zuzu. No? Yes? Maybe? That might be the Ouija board demon. But anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
But anyways, that's what it looked like. But it wasn't stone. It was a thing. It was a living thing, but I just couldn't make out what it was because of the sun behind it. But that was like the pose it was in.
Yikes.
So I just saw wings and a dead chicken, and I can't make out the rest in my brain, so I don't know what exactly it was, but
Creepy.
yeah. So
The story that I'm thinking of is that we were kids and there was something that looked around the doorway.
yeah. Oh yeah. I know that one too.
This is a good
Yep.
story.
Okay.
This always freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah. So
So is this a legit or did you just
No.
make this up?
No, I fucking was terrified. Yeah. It was actually two things.
Okay.
I don't know if it was just one or two, but so Roma and I had our rooms were switched at one point. And so I had the smaller room and she had the bigger room. And then when we had little brothers, because it was basically a 3-bedroom house. It was really a 2-bedroom house that was converted to a 3-bedroom
Yes.
house. But since Roma was a lady at that time, she was moved into the smaller bedroom, and then me and my 2 little brothers shared the larger
Yes.
bedroom. So I
like how you always get the shit end of the deal.
yeah, I was
You get the sh-
I was
the s-
15 and had a
The
room
small
with
bedroom, and then you end up getting the one with the 2. You finally get the
Yeah.
big bedroom, and it's got 2 other boys in it.
yeah, and like I'm trying to jerk off here. I'm 15. Jesus Christ. Can I get off the top bunk? It's creating a lot of sway. Good times. Wish it wasn't true. So I don't remember the exact situation as to why. I remember the house was completely dark, and
We always had a light on in the kitchen.
there was there was the kitchen, and then there was the living room, and then down the hall from the living room was a closet door. There was a bathroom door, your door, my door,
Right.
and then the attic was right above
So
that.
it was almost like a cul-de-sac almost of
Yeah.
of the end of the house.
Yep,
It had
basically there was 3 doors right there.
Yeah.
Bathroom, you, me.
Yep.
And so I don't think I watched anything scary that night. I don't know what it was, but I was sitting there and I don't know why I was looking out the door, but it wasn't a huge room, so it was probably like 10 foot from me to the door. And I saw a hand just clasp around the edge of the door, but it was like 4 foot up the door frame, the door, and it's only like a 6.5 foot door or whatever. And then a second hand comes up and just clasps the door. Now it's quite dark,
Sure.
but I can see what I can see.
Sure. I mean, I remember being a kid and being able to see. You could see,
Yes.
especially young. You have good eyesight.
Yes, and I don't know. I see a nose, like a really, really long nose, just like the fingers came out, juts out and looks into the room.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it was basically the black silhouette of 2 hands and a head. And I believe it was from that's the one that I remember really well. And then I believe another set came from the other side.
Okay.
And
I don't remember this part.
yeah, and of course I'm piecing together stuff that happened many years ago. And of course when it's terrifying to you, it's terrifying. So I saw, oh my God, yeah.
That's what this
Yeah.
story always reminded me of this.
Yep. That's pretty much it. And I don't think I saw what movie is that
Legend.
from?
It's got Tom
Legend.
Cruise.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that at this point, but it would make sense that that's what it was. Yeah, that's like basically what I saw. So yeah, because I remember the fingers were very long, but I was awake, and so then I think I saw the same thing or something similar on the other side, and I ended up just laying there frozen, like panting, like for a long time, and then I ended up like creeping out and looking down the hall and shit, and I didn't
See anything?
didn't see anything, but it was just yeah. So yeah, that was another time that I mean, it's hard not to feel ridiculous when you're saying these kinds of things.
As an adult.
Yeah, because of course you don't have any proof or any, I'm sure we all saw some scary shit maybe. I don't know if other people have similar experiences, but it was yeah.
Kat said we need to check out, let's see here. Missing 411. She said the stories of missing people in dense forest parks.
Oh,
She said she went down a rabbit hole and didn't sleep for a week.
huh? Is it paranormal?
I don't know.
Hmm.
And then also Steph and Kat both said that octopi are aliens.
Oh,
Extremely smart aliens.
they have some crazy videos with them.
They are crazy. I've seen, or at least I heard, I can't remember if I watched it or not, but of them like unlocking boxes and doing shit.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah. Being able to get into things that like, yeah.
Well,
But like figuring it out.
and I think they I think they've gotten like eagles and stuff like
Oh geez, I don't even know about that.
yeah, I think there's videos of eagles and octopi like battling.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would be really insane.
Yeah, totally. It's like, hey, that's freedom you're representing there, eagle. You better kick his ass.
Right.
Aliens and octopuses. Yeah.
So speaking of animals, I have a story here.
All right.
Let's see. With the zoos closed to visitors, pandas finally bang after 10 years.
Nice. Wow, he's really giving it
Turns
to
out
her.
all they really needed was privacy.
Exactly. People stop screaming at him and throwing candy to him.
Right. Why aren't you having sex and procreating?
Yeah. Just fuck you, idiots.
The coronavirus pandemic has given a pair of pandas in Hong Kong enough alone time to finally get it on. Keepers at the Hong Kong Ocean Park have been trying unsuccessfully for 10 years to get 14-year-old pandas Ying Ying and Li Li to mate naturally, a decade-long effort that had proven fruitless. However, with the zoo closed to visitors since late January because of the COVID-19 breakout, staff began noticing changes in the animals' behaviors. Since late March, Ying Ying began spending more time playing in water, while Lily has been leaving scent markings around its habitat and searching the area for Ying Ying's scent. Following this foreplay, Ocean Park proudly announced the two pandas had succeeded in a natural mating on Monday morning.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if I don't know, maybe they throw some Viagra in the old fish tank and
some Blue Chews. One of these days we're gonna have Blue Chew freaking sponsor us.
Yeah, we're just gonna go around and give Blue Chew to all the dogs and homeless people. You know,
I mean, whatever
film
works.
a commercial. It's gonna be the best commercial ever.
Joe says, "Get out of my room."
With your panda sex?
No, probably with your gremlin
Oh yeah,
story.
creepy stuff. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's if you had one of those lucid dreams, you know, it would be but I didn't really have those much, you know. I didn't wake up scary or all scaredy catted
Right.
very often. But
Yeah, I mean, definitely that stuff's crazy. I definitely remember being a kid and having just really creepy, odd feelings, but I never had anything so discernible that I thought like, oh, okay, this is definitely paranormal or something beyond nature and not beyond my imagination.
yeah, it's I don't know. Weird stuff. Yeah, Stephanie says yeah, DNA is like nothing on Earth. Yeah, they're trying to figure out which way the double helix spins, if it's like clockwise or counterclockwise.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And actually, I was talking to somebody about viruses. I don't know if it was you or if it was somebody else, but I was telling them that viruses are basically, they inject DNA in your cell while it's replicating.
It wasn't me.
Okay. Yeah. They inject their DNA, and the DNA is then spliced into your DNA so that it survives, and that you can give it to others. And same thing with like prions. So like
Never even heard of that.
which is the mad cow disease.
Okay.
And like Creutzfeldt-Jakob, which is that disease that it's mad cow for humans.
Okay.
That cannibals get when you eat the brains of other humans. You get
Interesting.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, and when cows eat the brains of other cows, because there's these things called prions, and all they are is DNA. That's it. They're like these little mechanical DNA that once they get in, you're fucking dead.
Weird.
And that's why they had to like kill all those cows and stop
Yeah, that sounds pretty creepy.
eating beef. Yeah, but it's just amazing that that's virus's survival mechanism. That's all it does is replicate in your DNA to make
Those
more virus.
bastards.
Yeah. And once the cell dies, then I think it releases more cells. So basically, you're just replicating virus. That's all it
Interesting.
does. Yeah, it is pretty weird. And so that's what the quinine, the hydrochloroquine.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, it plus zinc stops the virus from being able to penetrate the cell, like the nucleus of the cell.
Okay.
And then it also helps prevent it from replicating. It like interrupts
Interesting.
it from interrupting the DNA process. So
Well, that
plus
sounds good.
amoxicillin. Yeah. So it is promising, despite, koi pond cleaner. If you donate to Hillary's campaign and wanted to divorce your husband and he turns up dead, blame Trump
Right.
is the point. Yeah. And then the police won't even look into it.
It's like the Carol Baskins of
Yeah.
2020.
Yep. I can't wait till her thing comes out. I'm sure it'll be
It'll be a good one.
yeah. Yep. Hopefully she lives in like New Mexico or Arizona or something, so it's not going to be quite as white trash, but maybe just as much meth. You don't have all the Floridians and Oklahomians.
Yeah.
All our Oklahomies, as I like to call them.
We have a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We have a lot of Oklahomies.
At the OK,
Mm-hmm.
the corral, as
The
we
OK
call it.
homies.
Yeah.
OK homes.
hmm
I was going to say, do you want to plug anything?
Yes, I do, Roma. So I've started tweeting some things.
Ooh.
I think my first tweet was about some. Well, I'll let you guys look at it. It's not okay to bring up in front of your sister.
Great. I'm going to go look now.
Yeah. So if you take the first three letters of sensible and sociopath, so Sensoc, SENSOK, Steve, it's at Sensoc
That's
Steve.
okay.
Sociopath.
Sock.
Sock. Sensoc Steve. Yeah.
It's SOC. Did you say K or C?
C.
Okay. Never mind.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, so the first three letters are both Sensoc Steve, or it's Sensible Sociopath Steve. So if you put in Sensible Sociopath, I'm sure it'll pop up. Because I couldn't get podcast in there because it was too long.
Oh.
Just missed it. But yeah, so if you want to check me out on Twitter, I will be on there and adding the audio episodes once we get on there. So we're
Nice.
on 10 platforms now.
Whoop, whoop.
That's right. So please download and stream our audio because it helps us get paid. Please get all of your friends to subscribe to the live show here on YouTube. We
Yes,
will
please. continue
continue to do that until one of us dies from coronavirus, and the other one will just have to keep going. Just put up your cadaver like I'm assuming you're gonna die, Roma, but just like Norman
Thanks
Bates.
for the vote of confidence.
Yeah, I'll just put a wig on you once your skeleton starts to look a little ripe. Just put some sunglasses on you, a little makeup.
Little weekends at Bernie's
Totally,
going on there.
totally. A
You could
Hawaiian
do some
shirt.
type of like
Yeah, I'll have some strings.
some
Yeah.
type of string marionette
Just
thing. Talk
t-
to Steph Brockway about it. She'll know.
Typing on the keyboard.
I'll spell
spelling
about the
better.
same. It's just fist.
Yeah. She spelled debauchery correctly. It's crazy. Ooh. Yeah, Roma was looking for show tags. She's like, throw debauchery in the title. You got it, Roma.
As soon as you can spell it.
Roma's all about keywords. Because all you guys on YouTube searching out debauchery.
Right.
And then, of course, plugging Roma's Instagram
Woo.
is probably the best, most funnest thing we have going on. So Roma's very creative and Has a lot of good content, original content, some memes, that kind of stuff. Fun times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is fun.
Yeah, so subscribe here on YouTube and get your friends to subscribe.
Yep.
Please blow us up on the internet because we're funny and good looking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Exactly
we're in 1080p.
those reasons. Woohoo!
Yep.
Yep, and then Instagram, Facebook. I mean, it's iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, and SoundCloud, and all major platforms.
Yep. Outcast, Boxcast, Castbox, all sorts of things.
Things people don't listen to.
Yes.
But yeah,
And then we had some sad news.
we did have some sad news.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually we did a little
Memorial or
yeah. It's a little farewell, a little memorial that we did, and so we're gonna show that at the end of the show as opposed to our usual outro. So we would love it if you stuck around, and especially at this time where everybody's quarantined and away from their loved ones. I think it really kind of drives home the point that like appreciate what you have, and when we do get back to life, make sure you make the most of it.
Yeah. I have a very good friend of the show who's actually been on the show, Steve H.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our love goes out to Steve H. He's a good guy.
Yeah. So this goes out to you, and we're sorry for your loss. And
Sorry. I just saw someone said I just followed @SenStock Steve on Twitter, and I'm like, uh-oh. They're looking at what I just put up.
I love it how you laughed. I'm like, is this funny?
Yep. So, sorry, Steve H. Steve S. just found my Twitter.
But yeah, so anyways, everybody have a good night. Enjoy this little memorial, and we will see you next week.
Friday. Same time, same place.
Same channel.
Love you all.
Bye.